Hello everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. I have a review and demonstration today and practical use application video for a laminator that I was sent at no charge for my honest review and personal opinion of. It is sold at Amazon. It's called Q-Fun Laminator, and it is a hot and cold laminator, and it has a variety of different cool features that I don't have on my current laminator. I do have one, but it's rather old. I bought it when the kids were really young, and I used it for laminating things that I used for school, but it has started to, shall I say, take a really long time to heat up, and it started to leave bubbles in my laminating. So I think that one is maybe on the way out. So this came at the perfect time when they reached out to me to ask if I wanted to review this, because I've been wanting to use laminators more in my junk journals. I did at the very beginning. I used a lot of lamination for specimen cards and bookmarks and things like that, but I have not so much lately. So I'm excited to try this. I've got a few projects that I would like to attempt to do for some journals, personal journals, and journals also that I am putting in my shop. So we will see what happens as we go through these ideas that I have and see how it performs. This is what it looks like. It's pretty compact. It comes in two colors, white and purple, and that's just the top. So I chose white. The thing that I like about it is it accepts a much wider pouch than my current one. I think mine was a Scotch. That one I think only accepted 8.5 by 11s. This one seems to, I don't know what A3 translates to. It looks like about 12 inches wide. That's where you put in the film, and here's how you receive it out of the other side. Another cool feature of this that I don't think I've ever seen before is this part flips up, and in this little panel is a built-in removable, very small, very basic paper trimmer, which is pretty awesome. And then it comes with 3 rings, like if you want to make laminated flashcards. It comes with a quarter rounder, and it comes with a hole punch, looks like a standard size hole punch, and a extra blade. And that all just kind of hides in here, stays out of the way until you need them. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to try to do, and this is a little bit ambitious, but we'll see. I've seen other people do this. I want to create a divider for a sewing journal that I'm making for myself. That's about this size, and included with this laminator was a pack of pouches to get you started, and one of them measures 9 by 6 1/4, so it's about the same size of what this divider is. I'm going to see if I can create a glitter filled divider for this journal. And I say glitter, it's more of a chunky glitter, more of a, almost like a small sequin. It also comes with this smaller size here. Those look like 4 by 6. Looks like 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then it comes with the standard size pouches, which is what I already have, and I used most often. And then it comes with these giant ones, really big. Don't know that I'll ever use those unless I, need to laminate a poster or something, but it's kind of cool that they included that so I can have them, because it's not one that I'll probably typically buy a whole box of. So let's see if we can do this. I have seen other people try this. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back so I can show you what I'm doing to prepare the pouch, and then I'll move it back down to the bottom so you can see it come out the other side. First we have to preheat the machine, and it's got a very sensitive touchpad, so I turn it on, and right now it's showing red next to the cold laminating, but I don't want to do cold. I want to do probably 3 millimeters. So I'll hit the switch mode button. It blinks for a few seconds, and when it stops blinking and stays green, I know that it's heated up and ready to go. And supposedly it only takes about a minute. We'll watch it as we work. So let me find something that I can put down so you can see this better. We'll use this as a backdrop. I'm putting this here, and I'm going to open the pouch. It should open on one of the short ends. Yeah, you can kind of tell because the pouch gets really clear at the point where it's sealed, and that's the side that you want to feed into the laminator. So let me open this. And static may be a problem, but we're gonna see. I've got this chunky glitter here that I bought at Michael's, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on this sheet. I may need to open it a little more. If any of them fall to the edge, I'm probably going to clean that up before I put it into the machine, because I don't want any loose glitter inside the machine. Okay, so now look, it's solid green already. It's ready to go. I have my glitter here. Let me move some of these away from the edge. I don't want these near the edge. Some of them are clear, so it's kind of hard to see them. Okay, I'm going to close it carefully. Oops, I've got one on the outside. It is very staticky in here today. Okay, now I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring this back down. Now, one of the tips in the instruction manual was to have something nearby that you could set on top of it that's heavy. So after it comes out, it will be off camera, you won't see it, but I'm going to set it above me on my desk and put this on top of it to keep it from bowing as it dries, or cools rather. Okay, so I'm feeding it in the side that it said to feed in first. And I'm lining it up about where it is the size of the sheet. You can see that as soon as you start to put it in, it will start to grab your item, and you can let go at that point. Just sort of hold it steady. Don't hold tightly to it as it comes through. I'm grabbing it on the other side. All right, I'm going to set it down and put this heavy book on it. And I'll come back in a moment and show you the result. Okay, it's been about a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so. I'm going to look at it and see what it came out to be. Pretty awesome. It is exactly what I was hoping it would be. It's got a little bit of air trapped around some of the ones that are clumped closer together, but that is totally fine with me. I have strings sticking to it from the static. Yeah, really happy with it. To me it seems pretty straight. It's got a little bit of bowing near the bottom, and that might be just, I'm not sure if that's the side I fed in first or last. I think last. So that might be user error, because I might have lifted up a little bit as it went into the machine. It's not as thick, I think, as some of the other laminating pouches that I have in my stash. So I have those next to me. I'm going to try one of those. I reached out to the people who made this machine, and they said that the other pouches from other competitors are also compatible with this machine. If that makes a difference to you guys, it did to me, because I kind of know what I like to buy and like to buy the same brands. So I'll be trying one of those in a moment. But this has a lot of different applications. You can use it as a page divider. You can use it as, you can cut out shapes from this and use this to embellish journals. You can use this, you can cut this into 2 halves or maybe thirds and use it as a translucent pocket is another idea. You could create bookmarks with this. It's just a really cute piece of, I guess, eye candy that you could add to your journals or planner. So now that we have finished this, I'm going to turn it off for a second just so it won't keep, you can hear the rollers just rolling as I'm talking, and we probably need to let it rest between uses. I'm going to use this corner rounder, and I'm going to see, it looks like the edges are already rounded, however. Yeah, they are. So if I were to trim this, I would need to use this again to do the edges, but it looks like it's already rounded, so I'm not going to do that. And then I don't need to use the, oh yeah, I do need to use the whole bunch, because I'm going to use this as my guide. And let me make sure that I have the right hole. I don't want to punch the wrong hole. It is the bigger one, so I'm going to use that as a guide, and I'm going to punch 3 holes, try to center it up on my previous one. This little hole punch here. It's kind of hard to see where the hole is actually punched, so that's probably a drawback for me, because I'm not really sure. In fact, it's not even going to go far enough in for my purposes. So I'm not going to be able to use this for this, which is fine. I think we all have paper punches in our stash. That's not a deal breaker for me. I'm mainly excited that I have a laminator, so I'll just punch 3 holes in here. And now I have a divider. I can choose to do, like with this one, I can choose to go in and use scissors and trim around this and make it a tab divider. I may do that, I'm not sure. But this is really cool. This is a fun little element to add to a ring-bound journal. That's probably the best application if you're going to use it as a divider or a page, is to do it only in ring-bound journals because of the nature of the type of material that it is. All right, let's put this back in, and we'll move on to the next project that I have in mind. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a transparent pocket with a die cut inset inside the pocket. So I have one of the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, knowing that I'll probably need to trim it down a little bit to go in the journal. On a standard size laminating pouch, you could probably make 4 of those. So I've got this little cutout from a children's dictionary that says dandelion, and just because I'm on a roll with glitter today, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter, this much more fine yellow glitter. Make sure it's flat first. I know I'm going to trim this down, so I'm probably going to keep this a little more in the center. That should do nicely. So I'm going to run it through, and then I'm going to do like I did last time and set a book on top immediately. I'm going to kind of just press it down too to make sure none of my glitter pieces are turned. I think 1 or 2 of them might be. Oh, you know what? Not a good idea to open it again after you put the glitter down. It is lifting up and moving everywhere. So these are not behaving as well as the chunky glitter. They're sort of wanting to stand up on the end. So I'm just going through before I put it into the machine and pressing them down to make them all lay down flat. I think that'll create a better effect. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. You can't see me doing that, but I'm just pressing the glitter down to make sure it's all laying flat. Okay, so now I'm gonna gently pick it up and feed it into the machine. Okay, I'm gonna set the book on it. Okay, let's check to see how it came out. That's hard to see. Let me grab a black paper. Okay, so we have the glitter embedded in there and it laid down pretty well. It's a little bowed around the dandelion. I'm not sure if that's because of the glitter or because, I'm not really sure. I'm going to experiment a little bit more. I'm going to increase the millimeters, I keep saying milliliters, a little bit more to see if that might change anything. And then we'll run another one through now with another die cut, but without the glitter. Or maybe a selection of very small die cuts I have that are spring themed, and we'll see if that makes any difference in how it comes out. You can kind of see the bumpiness when I put it in the light. It's not a deal breaker. It's still very, very, very flat and useful for journals, but it's not as seamless, I guess, as I was hoping it would be. You know, like this side is definitely much flatter than where the dandelion is. But let's try again with the higher millimeters and the little die cuts that I have here. I would like to try that now. All right, so I have another 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 pouch, and I'm going to put in these little very thin die cuts. They're called confetti, but I received them in Happy Meal a little bit ago, and I think they would make cute little flowers in a pocket, in a transparent pocket in a journal. So let's see if I can spread these out evenly. Yeah, that should be good. All right, let's run this through. It's on the 5 millimeter setting now. So okay, set the book on it. Be right back. Okay, let's look at it now. Okay, this did much better. It's still bowing a little around the flowers, but I think that's just the nature of feeding something, you know, thick and spread out as opposed to one large image in a pouch. I really like the way this turned out. This is adorable. I think I might use the 5 millimeter every time now, because I think for my purposes, if I'm going to be doing things like this, it's probably the better choice. I will still use this dandelion one for sure. But yeah, I think the 5 millimeter is a better choice for things like that. Now I'm going to put a few things inside of a larger pouch that I already have here. These are the ones that I had already in my stash. I had just bought these when my machine started acting bad. So there's 100 in here. I've probably only used 5. So I really need to use these up. So I'm really hoping that they will respond well in this machine. Let me get it all set up and I'll come back. All right, for the next project, I'm going to try to do 4 pockets in one 8.5 by 11 sheet. I think these are 8.5 by 11. Yeah, roughly, a little bit bigger. I'm using some cutouts that I cut out of this wildflower guide that I received in Happy Mail. This is a wonderful book. It has images on one side only, so you don't have to feel bad about cutting a flower out because what's on the back is just text. I love this book. So I have cut out 4 botanical flowers that are all blue or purple to go in some spring journals that I'm working on. So I will place them now in this pouch. I'm going to try to space them out so I can use them as pockets. I'm going to put this to one side in each pocket. I think I'll do this. Using the grid lines behind your workspace is actually really a good idea because it helps you make sure that everything's straight. All right. The static is trying to move them a little bit. You can't see them, but I think I need to move these down just a little more. Okay, oops. Don't turn on me. This one's a little twisted as well. Okay. I think I have it set now, so I'm going to move it out of the way and pull the laminator back down. I still have it set on the 5mm, and I'm going to feed this in with the closed side first. I'm not pulling it, I'm just keeping it lifted so it won't bow downward, but I'm definitely not pulling on it. All right, because I've kind of run out of space up here, I'm going to move this to the mat and put the book on it here. We'll leave that for a moment. Okay, let's see how this one turned out. There may be an issue with my laminating pouches because there's a little bit of a haze. I don't know if you can see that. Sort of a stippling. I was hoping that my laminating pouches would be okay, but evidently they age. I'm not sure. That's kind of confusing and surprising to me. I'm wondering if I go back down to a smaller. See, I've got some issues here too as well. So it may be my pouches, sadly. Not just the machine that I was using previously as I had hoped. So I will still use this. However, I'm going to try on the next round, I'm gonna try using one of the provided pouches. So I'm gonna do a little trick that I learned by watching Peg at Craftroom Stories. I will link her channel. But she did this little hack, and I'm not sure where she saw it, but she had seen elsewhere on YouTube where you could put two papers back to back and you can laminate a full sheet of one and the other side would be cut apart. So you could use them as embellishments and they would not have a shiny side on the back, so they'd be easier to glue down. It's really hard to glue down with any kind of glue, laminated material. It's just not going to stay very well on your journal. So you either end up having to sew it or staple it. This is a great way to laminate die cuts like this. I just printed some of these from KB and Friends and the Graphics Fairy. That's what these come from. I just put these into my image editing software and put them all on one page. So and size them to what I wanted them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this page down, the printed side facing the bottom of the laminating pouch, making sure that it fits well within the borders. And then directly on top of it, I'm going to put this with the images facing up. Okay, that looks exactly even. So let's close it up. Make sure there's no fuzz or cat hair in here. And run it through. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna put this book on top of it. And we'll come right back. All right, let's see how it came out. Wonderful. Both sides look great. No bubbles, no striations. Okay, so now let me get my scissors. And I'm going to cut off the edges to release the two papers from themselves. It's curling a little bit, which I guess is normal as I cut. This actually, if you don't need the back laminated as well, this is a money saver because it's one pouch for two projects. Now it is curling a good bit, so I'll probably need to set it down on something a little bit longer, but now I have plain paper on the back and shiny on the front, and I can cut these out and use them as embellishments. And this sheet, I printed just a full sheet of tiny florals, and I plan to use punches, maybe a butterfly punch, and I can punch out some shapes and they'll have a beautiful shiny glazed look to them, and I can use that as embellishments. You can also use this as a pocket if you wanted to, but I really like the shiny embellishments that you can buy in the stores, and without having to pull out your glossy accents or whatever, you can cut out fun shapes using pattern paper that you print. Now I'm going to use the included paper trimmer and see if I can cut these down a little bit. I don't know yet how big the finished size needs to be for the pockets for these journals I'm working on, so I'm not going to cut them all the way down to what I'd like them, but I can just estimate. Make sure this is going to be straight. Looks like it is. I didn't catch at the beginning. That's fine. I might know how to start it at the beginning. Okay, let's cut this way. It glides pretty well through the plastic. Let's just leave them this size right now and try the corner rounder. Now this is the pouch, remember, that had the weird bubbles, the one that I had in my own stash. This is not one of the provided pouches. I'm gonna have to order some more that won't do this, because that's a deal breaker for me. All right, let's try to use the corner rounder now. Yep, works pretty well. It looks to be, I have this one right here. It looks like it's the more angled one of all three of these, maybe the R4 if you have that punch. Oops, I've already done that one. Oh, that's the one that was already rounded. That one I did a little incorrectly the first time, so let me trim it up. Okay, so now we have some rounded corners for making a pocket. So what you would do to make a pocket is you would grab some cardstock, trying to find some that's not overly patterned, but maybe subtly patterned. Here's some. You would grab some cardstock and lay it on top, and then you have some options here. You can sew it down. You can sew the entire thing down if you want to, or you can leave this part open like a pocket and have a transparent pocket. I think that's what most people do. If you sew the entire thing down, then it's going to be a regular pocket and what you put inside will be hidden. But if you do it this way, you will have a transparent pocket. That's probably what I'll do. You can sew, but you can also staple. I've seen people staple these all the way around. Maybe even if you have the tiny attacher by Tim Holtz, that would be a great use for that. I probably will sew mine. My sewing machine, I think, handles laminating okay. We'll see. I like the look of that, but I think staple is interesting, so maybe I'll try that on a couple of them. If I had some colored staples, that would be really cool. So I have these ready to be made into pockets for the spring journals. And then this one, of course, is, this one, of course, is the divider that we made with the glitter. And then we have this guy. We have this pocket with the dandelions and the glitter. Looks pretty cool on the background. And then we have this. I think this is my favorite. Super whimsical and cute. And it's a really cute transparent pocket. And then last but not least, I will cut out some of these and show you how you can use these in your journal creation and embellishing. All right, so here is an example of one of the ways you can use the laminated front embellishments. You can glue these down to any page you like that you want a shiny factor to it. However, for this journal, particular journal, I really want to make a gingham cardstock pocket. So what I will do is I will go to the sewing machine. You could use a stapler for this part as well, and I will sew just on this side and across and down across the bottom. That way it will leave me a tuck spot in front of the pocket to put something else. And I'll also have the pocket, of course. I really like this. This is a really cute way to use these front laminated embellishments. Now I will show you what I'll do with this guy. All right, what I've done is I have used two punches. I have this very small butterfly punch and this moderately large daisy punch. And I've gone through and I've punched these shapes on the shiny floral paper, laminated paper. And now I have all these embellishments to glue down to a page. I can glue them because they're paper on one side. Another fun thing you can do, you can get a strip of cardstock or paper longer and thinner than this, and you can glue them in a row and sew them down and use them as a page edge embellishment. That would be really fun and add some more texture and shininess to your journals. So I hope all of these ideas inspire you guys. If you are liking the laminator that you saw in the video today, I will link below to the product on Amazon if you would like to check it out. I think they're on sale right now. I could be wrong. They were when I received the laminator a week or so ago. But yes, definitely check that out. I think laminating can add a lot of interesting pizzazz to your journals and your embellishments and your projects. And it's not limited to journaling. You can use it for so many other things. I think I've just barely scratched the surface here of ways that you can use laminating to make all kinds of cool things. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.